everybody, welcome to my living room. I just didn't feel like bringing the chair out from my bedroom to where I usually sit, which is kind of like my office area in the apartment. So welcome to my living room. So today, finally another book review. I know it's been a while. I haven't really been able to read too much since work, and I've been kind of into my diamond art and stuff like that. So haven't been really reading too much. But today we are doing a review of the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins, which, if you do not know, this is a prequel to the Hunger Games series, a big YA series. I think it came out like 10 years ago. It's been a while since the Hunger Games came out. She decided to write a prequel. This is about Cornelius Snow, which ends up being President Snow in the Hunger Games series. And this is his villain origin story. We're going to kind of get into that a little bit and how I feel about how Suzanne Collins tries to make the reader feel that conclusion, which I'm still still a hit or miss if I really still consider this like his villain origin story. There's a lot of things that I'm like, okay, it's not explored enough. And this also has the 10th Hunger Games. This is the first time that the Hunger Games has where they have mentors. Cornelius Snow ends up being a mentor to a young woman that's named Lucy Gray. Now, I saw the movie before I read the book. I have to say I did like the movie over the book. And I think a lot of it was the acting. Like, you had Viola Davis, you had Peter Dinklage, the guy that played Cornelius Snow, young Cornelius Snow, was very, very good. I think he did a really good job. And the young woman that did Lucy Gray was really good in the movie. So when I went to the book, the emotions I felt like they were like Susan Collins was trying to portray, especially with the relationship between Lucy Gray and Snow. I'm gonna call him Snow. If they call him Cornelius, I'm just gonna say Snow. It's a lot easier. I thought there's definitely more of an obsession trope than a love trope between them, especially once we get to the second half of the book. And this is going to have a little bit of spoilers for the book. I can't really discuss why I don't feel like this is really a really great villain origin story unless I kind of talk about spoilers. So there is going to be a lot of spoilers. But we start off this book when he's really young. The war is still going on, which, if you've read the original Hunger Games, I don't remember. I know they've talked about it, but we didn't really get to see it too much. But we finally kind of get to see what it looked like in the Capitol. So this is a lot more political driven than it is to me, a lot more political driven than it was character driven. Where you had in the Hunger Games, you had Katniss, especially in the first book. She's like, no, my sister is not going. I am going in her place. So you get that, and it gives you you like Katniss because she does that. Where with Cornelius, you really do see more of the political driven. So you are seeing in the Capitol how the Capitol feels about these other districts that try to destroy the Capitol. So you're seeing the other side, why the Capitol hates these districts so much. And it destroys the Snow family's name instantly. He does not have any money. He has to hide that fact. They are about to lose their home. Like, you kind of do see the start of why he's capital and not district. And there is another character named Serjanus. He is one of the mentors in the games. He actually ends up being Snow's friend. He gets the kid from District 2. And he's like the opposite, because he is District. He is from District 2. His family just kind of rised up in the ranks and ended up coming to the capital. So you do see the difference between, okay, somebody that actually seen the destruction capital within, to this is what's going on in the districts. And to me, Serjanus is like, his fate, like, is pretty much sealed. Like, he is kind of a radical. He's always trying to go against the capital. So you have somebody that's for the capital and somebody that's against the capital, kind of going head to head in some ways. A lot of this first part of this book, minus the Hunger Games portion, is a lot of philosophy of, why do we have the Hunger Games? What's real evil? What's the level, like, what's chaos? Like, are we doing the right thing? Is the Hunger Games something we actually need to prove to these districts? Yeah, we're still mad at you for that war, 10 years ago. So there's a lot of more philosophy related questions, and the movie does a good job with it as well. I feel like the movie kind of was like, okay, here's the question, let's show it, which I know a movie can do a lot better than a book when it comes to show and not tell, but this was very telly. And it was written in third person, which I think it should have been just written in first. I think it should have just been, I feel this way. I feel this way about Lucy Gray, where it's like, it was written like third and first or something. This was written really weird, in my opinion, where it's like, it should have just been first person. It should have just been him kind of expressing how he felt about certain situations. And then you could have just had, other characters kind of be like, well, this is how I feel, especially in the classroom setting, which I was not expecting from this book. I wasn't expecting them to be other students. I thought they were just mentors, kids from, the capital, that just happened to know how to negotiate and stuff like that. But these actually ended up being students, so you had a lot of like physiological questions. Sorry about that, guys. Throughout the first part of this book, which was really interesting, but it really bogged the book down. Where in the movie, it's like, okay, this is a 2-hour long movie. We're gonna ask the question, and then we're gonna maybe have like a couple of people respond, and then we're gonna move on. Where the book really just kind of stayed on that for way too long, and each question he answers kind of shows a little bit more and more of his kind of downward spiral of hatred towards the districts. And by the time you see him with Lucy Gray, yes, he is being respectful to her. Do not get me wrong. He is being very respectful. He brings her a flower, but that's because Tigris told him to do that. Tigris was actually like kind of my favorite character in this whole thing, because of the fact that she's real. Like, she's like, we lived through the war. That's what it was like. That's what this was like. If I was in her shoes, this is how I would feel. So, and she does a lot for, Lucy Gray. By the time that we get to the end of the book, she gets her all cleaned up so she can get more sponsorships. I really did like Tigris. I thought she was a really interesting character. I didn't like how we really don't know what happened to her. The last we know, it seems like she's like some type of maid at the end or something like that. but I felt like out of everybody, she was, and Serjanus. Serjanus was the other character that was like, he was always starting to start a rebellion with, the whole capital, but at the same time, maybe that's what they needed. As you can see, like, if you watch the original, like the third movie slash book is more about like the rebellion against the capital and everything. So I feel like Serjanus does start that in a lot of ways. But the character of Lucy Gray, if you compare her to Katniss, which I was trying not to do, but I'm like, well, they're both from District 12. Snow is affected by them. I love Katniss better. I like that she can actually fight. I like the Hunger Games better in the regular Hunger Games books. This one was just a little slow. I think I didn't read the books. I only saw the movies, but I felt like we got into the Hunger Games. It was really exciting, and it was only the Hunger Games. And I get that, the second half of this book is him kind of dealing with the consequences of what he does during the Hunger Games, which is protecting Lucy Gray. And anytime a song came on, because I was listening to this on the audiobook, I just tried to skim as fast as I could because it sounded terrible. But I did not connect too much with Lucy Gray as much as I did Katniss. I felt like the reasoning why Lucy Gray even got in there in the first place was just because of a really bad bet, and her storyline did not do as much as I think it should have. I know, like, this is mostly, Snow's origin story and why he becomes evil. So maybe that's why she wrote Lucy Gray that way. But it shows that the world is very barbaric in the capital. And it's really showing what the capital was during that time. Now, I mean, obviously, we even know that when we watched, the original Hunger Games. Like, we knew how barbaric the capital really was because they created... Sorry about that. But they created these Hunger Games to go against the districts. But, like, to say he falls in love with Lucy Gray is kind of a wrong conclusion to make. I would say he gets obsessed with her. And he's like, you know what? I need a scholarship to go to college, so I'm going to use her to the best of my ability. I don't care if she wins. Like, he starts most of the first half of this book. By the time he meets Lucy Gray to their couple meetings until Lucy Gray's like, no, you need to believe that I can win this. And then he's like, yeah, I do believe you can win this. He does not believe she's going to win this. He's just trying to put on a show enough to where, maybe somebody will be willing to, give me the scholarship anyway, even if she does die. So he definitely does use Lucy Gray, and his protection of her is kind of still questionable because to me, he never proves that he's, that it's more than that, even by his actions. Like, there is still talk around him that it's like, you're still doing this for the scholarship. And then by the time they get to the games, he's still in that mindset. Now, Lucy Gray does save him. So I feel like Lucy Gray does show that she cares for Snow. Like, I think it's a very one-sided relationship that we see. So it's Lucy Gray saying, hey, this guy cares about me. I'm going to fall in love with him, which I'm like, 15, 16-year-old girl. Okay, that makes sense. I think she might be a little bit older, younger. I can't remember her age. But by the time that the Hunger Games is over, then we go into the section where he becomes a peacekeeper, because he gets found out that he's been cheating during the Hunger Games. So he gets sent to District 12 to hang out. This did a few things for me. District-wise, this was a very interesting part. Political-wise, very interesting part. Cornelius Snow being his lovely self and trying to show that, he likes Lucy Gray or whatever. Yeah, this was not great. So the political part of it and seeing the hangings and the birds and him going against Sir Janus, and how it's gonna, his chessboard pieces to more political power. That was all interesting. His and Lucy's Gray relationship was not interesting. It could have been, I could have dealt with this being a novella, to be honest. I could have dealt with them just being, like, Suzanne Collins just being like, the Hunger Games happened, this is who won. Maybe show, sorry guys, maybe show a little bit of the relationship and then bounce to the peacekeeper part where Lucy Gray goes missing at the end of this book. I don't know what happens to her. I'm guessing she probably went to District 13. Probably by the time that she escapes, maybe she went to the mountains. Something happened to her because Snow tries to kill her, does not. He is not successful. He's in the middle of woods yelling out her name, and he is not successful, and they cannot find her by the end of the book. So she disappears, and which is fine. I mean, Lucy Gray, just as a character, did not fascinate me too much. I wanted to hear more about what happened to Tigris, Sir Janus and his family, if they ever got punished for his son's actions, which it didn't seem like it. And then I kind of wanted to see Sir Janus's family versus Snow, because he was the one that was like, sorry about that, guys. He was the one that was like, hey, I recorded your son, pretty much confessing that he was working with the rebellion in District 12 to help this girl escape. So, I mean, he gets his friend in quotes, killed, and his family trusted him. So, it's just, and then there was this big, huge mystery of why what his father really did, why he got killed. So, I think what would have been more interesting is maybe not Snow's portion of his life, but his family's legacy would have been a lot more interesting. I know that, you're not going to write about characters that we're never going to interact with, especially if you're doing a prequel so far out. Like, you're going to pick a character that, we have some association with. So that's probably why she picked Cornelius, because he becomes President Snow and he's the major villain of the other series. But I don't know. I didn't feel like at the end of this, I did not feel like he was going to be the future villain of the series. I feel like we still saw him way too young. Like, other things could happen. So there's still a lot of room in the air. Now, I know she's writing another prequel about, I think his name is Hayward, Katniss's mentor. So I don't know if there's going to be a lot more about the politics and the emergence of the politics, maybe by the time we get to that one, because I know that's a little bit, sorry guys, but that's a little bit more down the line. So Snow would have been in power probably within about that time. So I'm just kind of curious what it's going to look like. I mean, Snow definitely made the Hunger Games better for, you know, the competitors and stuff, especially with them entering and everything. Which, to me, as a viewer, was a lot more interesting because it's like, well, why would you treat these people so well and then kill them? But, so you kind of got, like, why the Hunger Games in the original series was the way it is, because Snow kind of pretty much created it to be like that. And the spectacle is a lot bigger. And I think that's kind of what I was missing from this is, you know, when they were interviewing on TV, it was a big, huge spectacle. And it was kind of, I think it drove the point a little bit more. It drove the point a little bit more of the consumerism portion of the themes and stuff. But this, I don't know. I gave the book about 2.5, maybe 3 stars. And I mean, I haven't read a YA book for a while, so I was trying to be kind to this. But to me, like with some of the stuff that's in this, I wouldn't really consider this completely YA. I would more lean into new adult. But yeah. So yeah, that's my verdict on this book. As you can see, I just needed to take it back to the library today, so that's why I'm filming today. But otherwise, if you liked what you saw, minus my yawning, like and subscribe, and hopefully I will be back really soon with another book review. If not, it might be another character analysis like I did with the Nico Robin. I had a really good time with that video, so I might maybe do another one of those. It just kind of really depends where I'm at. Another series video hopefully will be here real soon here. I just have to read the 3rd book of the Red Rising series, and then I should be able to get a full book review, book series review for that, hopefully coming soon. But otherwise, if you I hope you have a very lovely rest of your day here, and I hope to see you real soon.